Hi, and welcome back to Today Re-Review, and today we're going to be reviewing the Adesso CyberTrack H4. Now, at the beginning of the whole pandemic, and even now, it's kind of hard to find webcams, which is crazy because, you kind of thought that, oh, well, hey, nobody really needs webcams, but then the pandemic came up and everybody and their mothers came to the stores and needed a webcam, so, I went into the same situation like everybody else, trying to find webcams, and the most logical ones and that you kind of think of is Logitech, because you see that everywhere. But it turns out that there wasn't any Logitech, so here I ended up having to search for different forms of webcams, and I came across this guy. I don't remember exactly where I found him. If it was either at Walmart, if it was Amazon, B&H, if it was Office Depot, if it was at the drugstore in back of the other drugstore where they sell those drugstores that the government doesn't allow, or either one of the CVS stores as well. But I ended up finding this guy, and I've been using him for some time, and I wanted to show you guys what he is, what it looks like, and the rest of the stuff. So let's go ahead and take a look. So again, we're gonna go ahead and take an overview. We're gonna unbox it, and then we're gonna go into it, and then I'll give my final reviews on this as well. So like I mentioned, this is the Adesso CyberTrack H4, and it says a 1080p HD webcam, built-in dual microphone, and of course it tells us at the bottom as well 2.1 megapixel full HD, and of course video conferencing. So it comes with a little scan QR code right there, back part. And of course, the specifications as well. So the specifications in this guy, it's right there. So its frame rate is 30 frames per second. It does show it's 1920 times 1080. And let's go ahead and take a look at them. So the overall design looks very similar to any kind of traditional webcam that we see. Of course, you have your USB cable, the actual opening section that falls over the either monitor or laptop or anything. I will mention that right off the bat, I do like actually that it's pretty firm. It's stiff, but it's stiff in a good way, in which it's not floppy. So I'm actually putting a decent force amount to open and close it, because it is pretty tight, and you're able to move it into quite a few ranges. So it's a pretty good one. Of course, it comes with a little plastic cover here. The only thing is that it kind of looks cheap. The plastic itself is pretty cheap. And see, like this basically just controls, and it's spinning around, which I'm not sure if it should be spinning around, but this section right here feels pretty firm, but the actual headpiece feels kind of cheap, especially this side, the part that's with the lens. Now, there's a lot of webcams that actually have the lens internally, so this one really sticks out. It does a pretty good job. Of course, the mics are on this side. This I actually thought was maybe like a hidden flashlight style or something, but it's really nothing. It's just there for design. So it's actually a pretty good, decent part. Of course, it comes right there, and then we'll go ahead and take a look at the actual imaging of it. So let's go ahead and take a look real quick. All right, so this is the onboard camera viewpoint of the Adesso CyberTrack H4. You're going to be seeing right now my movements, and yes, so what you're seeing right now is the actual Digivice that we just finished our giveaway contest yesterday, April 24th, and I'll be announcing those or the winner probably today, tomorrow, or this coming week as well. So if you commented, if you basically like, subscribe, and everything, you'll find out right now. Well, you'll be finding out who's the winner. But let's go ahead and continue with this. So you're going to see right now, it's in pretty good detail, but get this. Do you remember right now when I showed you the very front part of the camera that I mentioned that was sticking out here where the lens is at? Well, it turns out that it has a purpose. It actually, if you turn it, you can actually manually focus. So as you're seeing right now, I'm turning it to manually focus, and it does a really great job with the focusing. It actually gives it a better crisp viewpoint. Now this one actually does also have its own kind of auto focusing. But yeah, as you could tell, everything's coming out. And this is actually my desk. It's a bit dirty, but at least I want to show the different colors. And right here, what you're seeing right now is the different contrast with colors with more light. This is basically light coming out from the outside through the windows, and you're seeing right now the difference that it becomes a bit bluer, it's warmer compared to the high contrast as well. But for being 1080p, it does a really great job, and you could really tell it's a 10. I mean, aside from 1080p, it's a 30 frames per second. The pin right now, that's not mine, it's actually my wife's, but it writes really well. So, hello. And yeah, everything else is actually in pretty great detail. So, yeah. So we're back right now from the actual viewpoint, and as I mentioned in the video, I never really noticed that I've had this camera for quite some time, and this actual part is a manual focusing. So that was actually a really great, awesome surprise that I just noticed right now. Aside from that, the actual recording itself from it does a pretty great job too, as previously mentioned. Now, there's a couple of things right now with the conclusion that I'm going to be mentioning is that, one, for some reason, I was having actual trouble with the software provided by Elgato Game Capture HD. It was having trouble recognizing it, and the other program was actually Streamlabs that was having some issues with this, where the actual video was very grainy and it had kind of like a flickering yellow colors and stuff like that. So it was very distorted. It wasn't as great as I imagined. I never really, I haven't tried it for streaming or any of that stuff. So first time I'm actually using that format. The other thing that I want to mention is that this wire right here does get annoying. If the wire was either through the top section or maybe through the bottom or something, it does get annoying. It's a good cord, it's good quality cord, but because it's so stiff, it does get in the way. Although I do know that they placed it here on this side for the reason that it shouldn't become an obstacle when you're putting it on the webcam, but it actually still does. For some reason, when you put it on the actual camera, it'll either move up or down or to the side because this section itself hits. But those are my main concerns. Aside from that, it's a good camera. I'd never heard about this camera before, so I always kind of thought that it was either kind of like one of those cheapo cameras, camera that wasn't going to be good quality. But I've used it for several Zoom meetings and different events or scenarios in a sense, but it's done a great job. Price wise, I think it's a bit expensive compared to other web cameras that you could find, but right now during this whole pandemic style, it's a good price. My recommendation would be, yes, go ahead and get it. It does what it's intended to do. It's a 1080p webcam. It has 2.1 megapixels, and it basically is like any webcam itself. So it does a job if you're going to be having conferences, if you're going to be doing any kind of like Zoom. This is the actual webcam that you would get if you can't find it at Logitech or any other brands as well, like the Microsoft or the Dell's ones. But yeah, overall, a great camera. Like I mentioned, we just have a couple of issues with the programs for streaming and I guess like video capturing. So that's mainly it. But aside from that, I hope everybody has a great day. I send lots of loves and kisses. I may not be uploading something relatively soon. I'm going to be a bit busy, so hopefully as soon as I'm done, I'll be able to upload something else. But in the meantime, y'all, I miss you all, and y'all have a great day. Keep up the great work and hang in there, okay? Lots of love and kisses. Take care.